Hello everyone, and welcome back to Procurement in the Park. I'm Christian Schuh, and today I want to talk about something that is critical in procurement but often overlooked: language skills. One of my earliest clients asked me to conduct an internal benchmarking of their procurement practices across various countries. For me, as a small town boy, this was not just a fascinating project, but also my first opportunity to take a long-haul business trip. I started in Germany, then moved on to Spain, the United States, and later Brazil. One thing I noticed right away was that while all the buyers in Spain and Brazil were fluent in English, only about a third of the German buyers were. When I presented this to the CPO, his response caught me off guard. Well, I don't speak English and I cannot expect my buyers to be better at something than I am. This puzzled me, especially considering the progress we expect in global business environments. And I can relate to some of this from my own experience. Throughout school and university, I had opportunities to spend time in both the UK and in the US, fully immersing myself in English language. But back home in Austria, the opportunity to practice English was limited. And of course, this was before the internet, YouTube, or streaming services. Television was in German, and there were few movie theaters that showed films in original language. So after 2 years working at Unilever, speaking almost exclusively German, or rather Austrian German, which differs quite a bit from standard German, I suddenly had to give a presentation in English to executives visiting from London and Rotterdam. And I felt anxious. There were technical terms I didn't know. For example, the term order picking in a warehouse. I had to ask around to figure it out. The presentation went reasonably well, but it was also a wake-up call for me. I promised myself that feeling uneasy about speaking English would never happen again. From that day forward, I switched nearly all of my content consumption to English. I started reading books exclusively in English and made an effort to watch as many movies as possible in English. And by the way, I still do this today. But it's not just about learning basic English. There are many flavors of English. For instance, Euro-English, which you often hear in Brussels and across the European Union, functions as sort of a lingua franca in the business world. It's different from UK English or US English, and navigating the cultural nuances between them can be challenging even for native speakers, let alone non-native speakers like myself. This requires lifelong learning. Thankfully, there are services like those provided by Elke who helps Europeans better understand the US style of communication, which is essential for international negotiations. And then there's the challenge of communicating with professionals in regions like East Asia. Many of them are used to speaking with Americans, but they can struggle to understand Euro-English. This highlights how mastering English for business communication is a continuous evolving process. So what's my advice to procurement professionals? Focus on perfecting your English language skills. Yes, it's important to speak other languages, and I'm fluent in Spanish and I can survive in Italian and French. But in international business, and especially in procurement, English is the only language you must master. You may even work on reducing your accent, something I'm still working on in all the languages I speak. For procurement professionals, perfecting your English is essential for building rapport, negotiating successfully, and being effective on the global stage. Other languages will complement this, but English is the key that opens doors in international business. In the end, language skills are about more than just speaking fluently. They're about understanding cultural nuances, building relationships, and being able to navigate complex negotiations. As procurement professionals, it is crucial that we continually work on our language skills, especially our English. This is a skill you'll need for the entirety of your career, so commit to lifelong learning and improvement. Thank you for joining me today. I am Schuh, and this has been Procurement in the Park. Stay tuned for more insights on how to build a successful career in procurement.